Him is Tony Longhurst. Mark Scaife comes across to the left-hand side of the road. That probably gave Longhurst the life of the next turn, but there's Jimmy Richards, car number 1. Mark Scaife in second, yes it did. Tony Longhurst in the giant-killing B&H BMW now moves up to third.
Yeah, Jim really got the jump off there. Mark bogged down a little bit, but he's got the speed back up. He's back on his teammate's tail. Longhurst in third. And it's important to remember that whichever one of these Nissans wins the AMSCAR Series. Look at Gibbs down the inside, gets it sideways. Fifth.
Can you believe all that? Fair dinkum. I know I get into terrible strife every time someone says something incorrect about Mark Gibbs, but Mark is coming tearing down here, and I think finished
He's gone off. Yep, he's locked them all up and gone into the tyre wall down there.
Here comes the rest of the field. Well, that little move, I think, has probably waved goodbye to Tony Longhurst's chances, but Paul Morris, a youngster in car number 23, the second of the B&H cars, has done a splendid job this season. Now he is right up behind the two Nissans.
Word is Longhurst is headed for the pits, so Tony's out of the picture. Mark Gibbs, meanwhile, is trying to get his car going down at stop corner. Back at the front, Jim Richards leads Mark Scaife, and Paul Morris, the only remaining B&H BMW representative on the track, doing a great effort in third place here.
Well, Gibbs has got back out of the racetrack or across it, but that doesn't really matter. He's parked it on the grass there somewhere. Mark Scaife, the door is left open for him to come through. Paul Morris just sits there, but Jim shuts that option off as we take our Nissan race cam up to the right-hander, brings them back onto the start-finishing straight. And that will show you Mark Scaife starting to run away a little from Jimmy Richards, and Morris is glued all the way to the tail of Richards' car as they come to the top of Skyline. There's Tony headed for the pits.
No, he's heading back out again. He's been in and going.
Yep.
Yeah, it was another slow start from Scaife off the line. Jim got away very quickly. Took Mark a while just to gather himself up, and then Mark Gibbs and Tony Longhurst got stuck into each other on that opening lap, and that's
and there is
left Mark Gibbs on the infield there. Not quite sure what happened down in the bottom. It was in the stop corner where they actually came to grief finally, but they're certainly all locked together, and there's enough to knock both cars around. Meanwhile, it's a good break for Paul Morris, who's tucked right in behind the two Winfield cars as they come down to stop corner, and there's the gap, first, second and third. Morris tucked right in behind, doing a really good job.
Colin Bond, meanwhile, in third position, and behind him, Rowan Onslow in the Silver Commodore, as they head up the straight once again.
Pretty quick jiggers up the hill here, let me tell you. The GTRs. Paul Morris sitting right on the tail here of Jimmy Richards' car.
Well, they're not mucking about. Scaife half a second faster than he was here in May, in the second round of the AMSCAR Championship. And I said earlier, half a second under the lap record. So the Nissans are going faster and faster as the year wears on. Paul Morris putting on a great display in the BMW. This track a great equaliser, as Jim Richards takes more than a look down the inside of Scaife, side by side out of the bottom turn. Paul Morris waiting for any gap that may appear, but I don't think you'll see one between the two Winfield cars. Hard on the brakes for stop corner once again.
They're not making a Nissan commercial here today, are they? They're putting on a good show for the spectators at Amaroo Park. Jimmy Richards, Mark Scaife and Paul Morris. Paul hasn't done anything silly all season. Moved up from Formula Fords last year, where he was a standout competitor.
He has ran with Troy Dunstan and won the round at Lakeside, picked up by Frank Gardner on a learning curve, fairly steep learning curve, running the Australian Touring Car Championship this year, and acquitted himself fairly well.
There's Colin Bond in fourth place as well, and Colin unveiled the four-cylinder multi-valve Toyota that he'll run in next year's Touring Car Championship at Amaroo yesterday.
Yes, the first driver to and team to commit fully to 2 litres. We've heard plenty of bleating coming from the others, and no cars have been produced as yet. But Colin Bond here at the circuit yesterday, unveiling their new car for season 93. They'll be running it in the 2-litre class.
And he's teamed with John Smith, very well-known motor racing professional, and Smithy and Colin will team together next year for Team Toyota Caltex, and that would be an exciting package.
Well, there's Bondi exiting the loop. He heads down, still in chase of the front-running Sierras and Paul Morris at this stage of the race.
Yeah, the Caltex Bond combination have been together for a number of years now. I think it started in 87, if my memory serves me correctly. And Caltex committed to the new Toyota 2-litre project. So Bond will carry the Caltex colours in the 93.
So the two Winfield Nissans still continue to lead. Jimmy Richards and Mark Scaife running one of the cars. There's Freddie Gibson. Good day for Freddie today. In the second car, I notice entered for the Tooheys 1000 with the names of Anders Olofsson from Sweden and one Neil Crompton from Sydney. So you look like you've got a good gig at the Tooheys now.
Well, I hope so, Mark. It's they're obviously a great team and they're the champions, so it's a great opportunity. But I'm just keeping my fingers crossed, and I guess like a lot of people that all the problems will be sorted out and they will be at Bathurst, and at this stage that's still far from resolved, so still plenty of time to grow some grey hairs.
I'll have an even 50 there, purely because of the sponsor on the side of the car. Down to the lake corner, not too much between them. They're putting on a show for the crowd and they're taking Paul Morris along for the ride. Paul staying in their slipstream. They come out, putting a lap on one of the cars, one of the Corollas. 3 in the field, Ben Radford, Peter Brett from Queensland. They all get through there, head to the top of Bitchapave one more time.
Oh.
Thanks a million, he said, for the...
Paul Morris drives through the dust cloud. The car's been clipping that fairly regularly this weekend. More and more speed out of the cars, cutting the circuit down as short as they can. Bring a bit of the scenery onto the track.
Now, they've had a superb season in the Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. Marvellous series. Plenty of close, hard racing. I know there were a lot of people into being very aggro about the handicapping at the start of the season, but it really did produce fantastic racing. Well orchestrated series put together with Tommy Smith and his people from Shell and Tim Schenk and Noel Southey from CAMS. 93 promises to be even closer, even better.
Meanwhile, Tony Longhurst has climbed back up to 7th position after his pit stop. I know he's just nailed Rowan Onslow there in the Commodore, so he's climbing his way back through the field as well. 2
laps to go. Jim in control, Mark Scaife in second, Paul Morris there in third. Still nothing between those top 3 cars.
I wonder when Fred Gibson tossed the coin as to who takes the AMSCAR Series.
Can't ask Crompton, he won't tell you. He's not allowed to. They come down the back straight. Jim to the left-hander. Paul Morris really would like to get on with it, but I think Mark's doing a fairly good job of just covering Jim's tracks here today.
Historic occasion too, I guess. The last appearance of the GTRs at Amaroo Park. The last New South Wales outing before the Tooheys 1000 in October.
It promises to be a fabulous race. Wide open this year because of the weights and penalties. Last lap board coming out. We know that Tony Longhurst with the Venezuelan driver Johnny Chicotto will be there and right amongst them. It's not getting any easier for Paul Morris.
Certainly the body language from both the cars and looking at that lap board suggests they're not mucking about. They're right on the limit at the moment as they thread their way through traffic. They're into the high 51, so they're not fooling.
Certainly pretty quick. Last lap, Paul Morris hasn't been shaken from this 2-car leadership battle. Good performance from the B&H youngster.
Yes, he's returned for his team. A good result here today. They go to the lake corner for the final time, work the short straight up to the right-hander, checkered flag, ready to unfold for Jimmy Richards. He's played rear gunner most of the season. Today, it's his day at Amaroo Park. Richards across the line, teammate Mark Scaife in for second. Paul Morris picks up a very, very good third placing out of that, and Colin Bond in fourth. Let's check them out for you on the Shell race score. Richards the race winner over Scaife, Morris in third, Bond in fourth, and from Sylvania Waters, Michael Donaher picks up the fifth.
Great action once again from Amaroo Park as we took a look at the drivers in the touring cars for the final for the AMSCAR Series. And it's my pleasure today to welcome up to the microphone third place Paul Morris. Well done, Paul. Tremendous performance for third, and you were really getting stuck into those 2 blokes in the last one there.
Yeah, I was trying, just couldn't get past them. Another few laps maybe I might have been able to do it. But, no, it was good fun.
Yeah, it was great to watch. And second place today from the Winfield team, Mark Scaife. Great drive, didn't quite get Richo though. Well done.
No, it's pretty tough. You know how hard Richo is to beat any time, so congratulations to Richo, he did a great job.
Yeah, excellent performance. Jimmy Richards, you're the winner not only today, but also the winner of the series. Well done. There's your plaque.
Thank you, Neil.
And you've even got some friends.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? No, I'd like to thank the ARDC for putting this little series on each year. It's really good. And, of course, Winfield, our sponsors, Yokohama, Nissan, and, of course, Australian Airlines. Thank you.
You must be looking forward to Bathurst, just quickly.
Yes, we are. We're obviously hoping to be there, but I think if we get there, the car will perform admirably, hopefully.
Well done today, Jim, and congratulations to the BMW and Nissan team. And Mike, we look forward to the Tooheys 1000 coming up on October the 4th.
Thank you, Neil Crompton. Some happy scenes there in Victory Lane, and why not this afternoon? The Winfield Team Nissan drivers scoring the top points in the AMSCAR Touring Car Series at Amaroo Park, and that, of course, following up a sensational Shell Australian Touring Car Championship. That brings our motor racing at Amaroo to a close. Don't forget, you have an appointment 6 weeks from today at Mount Panorama Bathurst for the big one, the Tooheys 1000. We look forward to your company then.